And they're all set to run. The last on the card. Off they go. Opportunistic, the last of them away. First to jump, Bakil over Petula. Cool Memory being allowed to come across by Harvey and booting up also. Right behind them, Snippy Witch charging forward. Dracana soon after the start. In behind those, Bakil. Then down on the inside is Woburn Gold in the early part with Wine O'Clock somewhere. It's up prominently placed as they settle down, going out by the 1,000 metre mark. On the outside, Super Session next of all, a length away, Russian to the bar. Followed further back behind them, Opportunistic back there in company as well with Noteworthy, Karamundi. They go to the 800 mark. Rockanori had got right back, and also back with it is Captain Chaos and Simply. Along the side they leave the 700 mark behind them. Cool Memory is jog trotting in front, doing it very comfortably. Cool Memory a length in front. Dracana running second. Over on the inside next of all is Snippy Witch as they come to the home turn. Wine O'Clock somewhere getting around the outside of Bakil. Russian to the bar is following those. Petula caught up just in behind them, and they're being followed further back then by Noteworthy. At the 250, Cool Memory joined by Wine O'Clock somewhere. Russian to the bar and getting a run now. Snippy Witch is coming through very quickly. Snippy Witch coming at Russian to the bar with 100 left to go. Russian to the bar. Snippy Witch from Cool Memory. Russian to the bar's in front, and Russian to the bar. Russian to the bar has won it at big odds in the last. Russian to the bar from on the inside, Snippy Witch. Cool Memory is close up, running on Opportunistic. In behind them, Wine O'Clock somewhere, as well as right behind them, Super Session and Petula. Noteworthy not far away, Simply picked off a few. Further back in the field, Rockanori. Woburn Gold hasn't fired with Wine O'Clock somewhere. They're all back with Captain Chaos, Bakil, Karamundi, and Dracana has also compounded very badly to finish right back there near the rear. A blowout result in the last of the day. Final leg of the quaddie. It looked hard enough, but this has got home to give Chris Parnham a treble this afternoon. Takes the riding honours on a $41 chance. It'll pay better than that though. Russian to the bar around $46.70 and $8.50. And Salutes at big odds over 16. Snippy Witch, Cool Memory will be third, and Opportunistic fourth home. They'll be the placings after the running of the last on this Belmont Park card. So Russian to the bar, number 10 for trainer Luke Fernie, having its third run in the campaign. He's dropped it back into a 1400. He hadn't run for about 35 days, hadn't won for a long time. And its first real glimpse of form here this afternoon by Russian Revolution out of Rosie Rocket. Chris Parnham clinching the third leg of a treble over Snippy Witch, Natika Reardon and Cool Memory, Paul Harvey. 10-6-1-12, ahead 1 length margins in 124.28 and 36.72 is the back end 600 sectional. Let's go down and catch up with Lockie in the last, and Chris Parnham rounds out the day on a real high.
That he does. A treble for Chris Parnham here at Belmont Park. He has really returned to form over the last few weeks, and Chris Parnham in form is such a good sight to watch. I'm now joined by stable foreman for the Luke Fernie yard in Brian Carey. Brian, congratulations on the victory. Rushing to the bar. He's always been a stable favourite, and nice to see him get back in the winner's circle today.
Yeah, Lockie, he's been going really good without any luck. On Tuesday, his work was very good, and I said to Luke, today might be the day.
What was his trainer thinking? He was second up out in trip, third up back in trip. What was going through your trainer's mind?
I don't know. But he went down trip, and we thought he didn't stay, so we dropped him back in trip. And this trip suits him, I think. 14, 16 is his goal. I don't think he gets any further than that.
Chris Parnham, he does plenty of riding for the stable, and when Chris is in form and at full flight, he's such a good jockey to watch.
Yeah, he is. I just said to Chris, just ride your own race, get some cover, and he goes, yeah, I'll be 3 wide with cover, and I said, you're the boss, and I'll leave it up to you. And he just travelled so well today.
tree wide with cover and gets the job done. Well done.
Yeah, I'm rushing off to the bar now.
There's Brian Carey. What an absolute champion of a bloke he is. Great to see you rushing to the bar. Back in the winner's circle, and a nice result for his connections, because as a 3-year-old he showed a stack of ability. He's been in the wilderness for a little while now, but back into some form here this afternoon.
Yeah, he certainly has, Lockie. Over 500 days between wins for rushing to the bar, and he's been able to bounce back into the winner's stall here today. He was afforded, as you've already touched upon with BC post-race, a lovely trip in transit. He was 3 deep with cover on the back of a horse who was certainly entitled to drop out a lot earlier than he did, Wine O'Clock Somewhere. I thought he was enormously tough with the run that he had. He gave Russian to the bar that lovely cut into the race, and while he looked to hit the front quite early in the straight and had to be really ridden out and urged along late in the race, he was able to find that toughness and pull out all the stops, Lockie, late when he needed to.
Absolutely. Russian to the bar takes out the last of the afternoon. Snippy Witch continues to race consistently. Love the ride of Paul Harvey aboard Cool Memory to roll forward from that wide alley. He really took his time as they went down the back straight along that straight run to the first corner. He was a fantastic run first up. Hopefully there's another victory in him this campaign, and opportunistic. Have a look at that galloper's run as he found the line extremely well late. He'll certainly be a horse to follow wherever he goes next. But it's Russian to the bar who brings up a winning treble on today's program for Chris Parnham, and here he is catching up with Riley Morgan once again.
I think there might be a few horses to follow from that final race on the program here today at Belmont Park. Lockie catching up with Chris Parnham after the victory aboard Russian to the bar, his first win in over 500 days. Chris, a treble on the program. You're in some terrific form in the saddle at the moment. As touched upon, it has been a while between drinks for this horse, but you know the quality that he has got when he's been right, and I thought that race for you just unfolded beautifully.
Yeah, it did. I was sort of a bit unsure what sort of horse we'd get today, because I was pretty happy with his first up run in the Joey, in a good lineup, and then he went the week after in the Diggers Cup and probably just didn't quite run out the 1800. So freshen up back here to the 14. You know, I thought if he's brought his A game, he'd be right in it.
As you mentioned, they have tried a few things with him, looking for that next win over the course of his career in recent seasons. They've freshened him up and targeted him at some shorter distances at sprint trips. They've tried him out to the genuine staying trip as well, which, as you touched upon, he probably just doesn't see out the type of horse that he is. Is this his sweet spot now, do you think, that range between 14 and 1600 metres where he's really at his best?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. 14 and to a mile is sort of where he really likes it and he does his best racing. So I think going forward, that's probably what Luke will sort of aim up with him. You know, like he hasn't won for a while, but he hasn't run bad races at the same time. Like he's run a few placings to some good horses. So yeah, his form hasn't been all that bad, and it's good to sort of get the win with him today after a while between drinks.
Showed some toughness today as well. He has had some good runs previously and been unable to get the job done in transit, but he was there to probably be beaten late. That horse up to your inside made a really strong late challenge, and he found what he needed to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he had every excuse to lay down if he wanted to. He was sort of left in front, a bit of a sitting duck, and that horse come to us about the 100, but he did find again and fought his way through to the line. So, yeah, it's good to see he's got a bit of toughness in him.
You're in some terrific form at the moment in the saddle, mate. It's been great to watch. Well done on the win here on the day.
Thanks, Riley. So, mate.
There's Chris Parnham. He is absolutely flying. That is a winning treble on today's card for Chris, and he takes out the last of the day alongside Luke Fernie and Russian to the bar. Riley, 9 races, run and 1, and the rain didn't arrive. As is so often the case, we make a big deal about it. I was talking about the forecast on Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I kept on talking about it, and it didn't arrive.
Not sure it's going to be the same tail of the tape for Bunbury tomorrow, Lockie, with the forecast for racing there tomorrow looking particularly dire at this stage of proceedings. But no, the rain has stayed away today, and there were certainly some horses that we can take away from today's program and be following, I think, with a bit of confidence moving forward, particularly the first 2 winners on the program. The wins of Long Service Leaf and Basset Hound over the 1,000 metres. Gee, they look some talented types that we can continue to follow moving forward.
Exactly right. Cannot wait to see where they progress to next, and you never know, they might even clash next start, which would be absolutely worth mattering. But the feature of the day belonged to Western Empire. What a ride it was from William Pike. Not many saw him rolling forward from barrier 13 of 13, but in the end, that and and the riding of Willie Pike over that 50 metres, the final 50 metres, they were the two winning moves.
As he said in his post-race comments as well, Locke, he said he was happy to come out neutral and just see how things were able to unfold early. He was going to be happy to be 3 wide without cover, with at least half of the field behind him in running as well. It was never the plan to go back to last from where he drew, but you could just see he had a look early. He came out neutral, had a look, said, I'm going to chance my arm and see if I can slot in and find some cover here, which he wasn't able to do. He had to settle in the breeze outside Hobart West, who gave an almighty amount of cheek for Austin Gallardi and Summer Dixon as well, and it fired him up a little bit as well. He never really came back underneath Willie in running, but as we so often see, Lockie, good horses just find a way.
And that he did. Wonderful day of racing here at Belmont Park. Thanks for tuning in on racing.com and Racing WA TV, but for now, it's good night from Ollie and I.